Okay guys, so in this video, we'll see what are the different factors which affect the resistance of a particular material. So in the last video, we observed the definition for the resistance, yes or no, and we understood clearly what is the impact of the resistance. So right, so once again, so when it comes to resistance or resistor, so how we are defining, just I'm defining once again. So resistance is nothing but the property of a material which affect the or which opposes the flow of free electrons. Right, it is a property of a material. So because of the resistance of a particular material, it can opposes the flow of free electrons. Now I will show you the symbolic representation of a particular resistor. How we are drawing a representation of a resistor. A resistor, it can be represented like this, all of you observe here. And I told you that it is denoted by capital letter R. So now we will see the representation of resistor and the units for the resistance also will see. So clear. So this is how a resistor or resistance can be represented, and it is denoted by capital letter R. And when it comes to units, so resistance is nothing but opposition, right? So keep in mind, so always the opposition parameters, so the units for the resistance are nothing but ohms only. So the unit for the measurement of this resistance is ohm, OHM, and symbolically, so it is so denoted like this. I will show you how the symbolic representation of ohm. Right. So this is how the symbolic representation of ohm. Right. So clear. So once again, resistance is nothing but the property of a material which opposes the flow of free electrons. In the last video, I clearly explained how the opposition offered by a particular material. So in this video, our main intention, it is on the factors. What are the different factors? So the factors affecting the resistance, affecting the resistance of a particular material. So we'll see what are the different factors which affect the resistance of a particular matter. So particular material. That means, so keep in mind all of you, the resistance of a particular material, it is not depends on the applied voltage, and it is not depends on the current passing through the material. So completely the resistance of a particular material, so so only depends on the physical so properties of a material. So now we'll see what are the different factors which affect the resistance of a particular material. So clear. So the first factor we will consider, so that is the length of the material. So we'll see what is the impact shown by the length of the material, the resistance value. So the first factor is length of the material. So that means if the length of the material increases, if the length of the material increases, what happens to the resistance value? So that we need to analyze. If the length of the material increases, what happens to the resistance value? So that can be analyzed by considering a conductor as usual. So this is how a conductor looks like. I already shown you. So this type of diagrams at the time of current, voltage, and the classification of materials definitions. Right. So this is my conductor material. Consider a copper material. In case of a copper material, so each atom will provide one free electron, right? Each atom will provide one free electron. So now what we are doing means, so here I'm increasing the length. So that means indirectly the length increases. So the length of the conductor, it is increases. Now my length of the conductor, I consider L. Okay, na small L consider. So the length of the material, so increases, what happens to the resistance value? If the length of the material increases, so what happens to the resistance value? If you observe the length of the if the length of the material increases, so what happens to the number of collisions? Because so resistance of a particular material indirectly it is decided by the number of collisions. If the number of collisions are more, so indirectly the resistance value offered by that particular material indirectly it is more. Okay. So now we will observe what happens to the number of collisions made by a particular electron. So clear. For suppose consider this electron itself. So while moving this free electron, this will collide with the immediate immobile positive ion. Yes or no? Again, so after colliding with this immobile positive ion, again the same electron, so again it will collide with the next immobile positive ion. Yes or no? Again, so it will collide with the next immobile positive ion. That means if you consider this free electron itself, if it has to reach to this end point, okay now, so nearly it has to make collisions with almost 6 atoms. Okay now, so almost 6 atoms. So don't think that so it's always 6, so exactly 6, it's not like that. Okay, it depends on so the path of this free electron. So clear. So that means indirectly what we can conclude. So if the length of the material increases, so the number of the collisions made by a particular element also increases. That is what we can observe from this so analysis or explanation. That means indirectly, if the number of collisions increases, what happens to the resistance value? Because the resistance value indirectly is decided by the number of collisions. Here, if the length of the conductor increases, means automatically the number of collisions made by the free electrons also increases. So indirectly, the resistance offered by a particular material also increases. That means if you want me to write the relation between resistance and the length of the material, so the relation between resistance offered by a particular conductor, if you consider conductor itself, the material itself, so the resistance offered by a particular conductor, so it is having a direct relation. Yes or no? All of observe. If the length of the conductor increases means, so obviously the number of collisions increases. So if the number of collisions increases means resistance increases. That means so we are having a direct relationship between the resistance of a particular conductor material and its length. That is R is directly proportional to the length of the material. So this is the relation we are having. So between my length of the conductor and the resistance offered by that particular conductor. So clear. So this is the first factor which affecting the resistance value of a particular material. So the second factor we will observe here. So the second factor after the length, the second factor which affecting the resistance of a particular material, that is so cross sectional area. So now we'll see so what happens to the resistance value if the cross sectional area increases. Okay, so cross sectional area, that is denoted by small a, right? So what happens to the resistance value if cross sectional area of the particular conductor increases? Cross sectional area means that this is the size of the conductor increases. So what happens to the resistance value? So now again I will consider one more conductor. So its cross sectional area is very high compared to the previous one. Yes or no? I can observe here. So this is my cross sectional area. So now what I'm doing means I'm increasing the cross sectional area. So if the cross sectional area increases, what happens to the resistance value? So we can analyze again in the same manner how we analyzed at the time of length of conductor. If cross sectional area increases, so definitely, so the collisions made by a particular free electron. Okay, na? So the number of collisions made by a particular free electron will be decreased. There is no doubt you can observe here. So here, if you consider this free electron itself, if you want to reach to this end position, so it has to make a collisions with 4 more atoms. Earlier it is 6 more atoms because the length of the conductor is very high. So but here the length of the conductor is less, but the cross sectional area is more. So that leads to so less number of collisions. I will mention that point also for understanding, for better understanding. So here, so if the cross sectional area increases, so the number of collisions also less. Everyone accept it, right? So number of collisions are less, right? So here we are getting so less number of collisions. But in the previous case, if the length increases, what happens to the number of collisions? Here also I will indicate. So here the number of collisions, so more number of collisions. Okay na? So more number of collisions here, so there the less number of collisions. So now if you want to write the relation between resistance and cross-sectional area, so the relation between resistance and cross-sectional area, so definitely we are having inverse relation or direct relation. Definitely here, so here we are having inverse relation. That is, the resistance offered by a particular material, it is inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area, that is small a. That means if cross-sectional area increases, the resistance value decreases. That is what we can observe here, right? So this is the relation between my resistance value and its cross-sectional area. So this is the second factor which is affecting the resistance of a particular conductor or material. So clear. So now we will see the what is the third factor which is affecting the resistance of a particular material. The third factor is the nature of the material. So we'll see what is the importance of material types, nature of the material or type of the material. So that means from material to material. Okay, now from material to material, the resistance value is changing. It's not a constant value. For suppose, if you consider a copper material, and similarly if you consider an aluminum material, so are having same length and are having same cross-sectional area. So then which material having less resistance? Definitely, so the copper material, it is having less resistance compared to aluminum material because of its internal structure. So because of its internal structure, that is the reason why. So the resistance of a particular conductor or conductor material, it is depends on also depends on the nature of the material. So clear. So this is the third factor, and the fourth factor is very very important. That is temperature. Temperature. The fourth factor, so which is affecting the resistance of a particular material is temperature. Now we'll see the what happens if the temperature increases. So if the temperature increases, you can observe here. So temperature increase means indirectly we are providing some additional energy to the conductor or conducting medium. If you provide some additional energy to a conductor, so clear. If you provide some additional energy to a conductor, so definitely the number of collisions made by the free electrons also increases, so that the resistance value also increases. Keep in mind. So it is happened only in case of conductor. So in case of a conductor, the resistance value, keep in mind, so it is increases if temperature increases. So very very important analysis. So why the resistance increases if temperature increases? So temperature, that is nothing but we are providing some additional energy. So because of the additional energy, the number of collisions made by the free electrons increases. So if the collisions increase means indirectly the resistance value also increases. So it is happened only in case of what? For conductor. Keep in mind. So it is very very important analysis. So in case of only conductor it is happening. Now when it comes to semiconductor, okay now. So in case of semiconductor, keep in mind, if temperature increases, if temperature increases, if you observe the resistance value, definitely it will decrease, not increases. So why means? So internally semiconductor, it requires some additional energy, right? To provide the free electrons. The additional energy we are calling as what? Ionization energy. That ionization energy can be provided in terms of temperature also. But in case of semiconductor, if you provide the temperature, so the number of free electrons released by the atom increases, so that the conductivity or the resistance decreases. Okay, now. So it is very very important observation. So in case of semiconductor, so if the temperature increases, the resistance value decreases. But in case of conductor, if temperature increases, the resistance value also decreases. So we are having one relation between the temperature coefficient and the resistance value. So that relation I will write that expression for our better understanding only. So that is RT. Okay, now temperature dependent resistance, small RT, that is equals to R naught into 1 plus, okay na? So R naught into 1 plus alpha into T. Okay na? Alpha into T. I will write that alpha symbol also. So where alpha is known as temperature coefficient. Where alpha is known as temperature coefficient, and that alpha value depends on the type of the material. If you consider conductor, definitely for conductor the alpha value is positive or negative, positive, and for semiconductor the alpha value is negative. So keep in mind, it's very important. So when it comes to conductor, that alpha value is negative, for conductor positive, and for semiconductor it is negative. All I told you now. So for conductor, observe here, this is positive for what? So the alpha value, it is positive for what? Conductor. All I told you now. So if temperature increases, resistance increases. So the alpha value should be positive. But whereas semiconductor, this alpha value is negative. So why means if temperature increases, the resistance value has to be decreased. So in case of semiconductor, is it okay for everyone? So this is how the relation between temperature and resistance of a particular material. Okay. Now if you consider a particular material, at constant temperature, I can write the relation for resistance or, so that is capital R. It is directly proportional to. So it is directly proportional to the length, and so inversely proportional to the cross sectional area of the material. Okay, now at constant temperature, so it is having a direct relation with length, and so inverse proportional relation with cross sectional area, that is R is directly proportional to L by A. And if you consider the nature of the material, through the proportionality constant, so the proportionality constant here is rho. The proportionality constant here is rho. If you consider the nature of the material through a proportionality constant, that is rho, then the expression for the resistance value, the expression for the resistance value, so R equals to, observe here, so then the expression for the resistance value R equals to rho L by E. So here we consider the constant of proportionality as resistivity. That constant of proportionality resistivity, it is depends on the nature of the material. So rho L by E. So this is the final mathematical expression for the resistance of a particular material. That means, so the resistance of a particular material, it is not depending on what? Voltage, and it is not depending on current, it is depending on its physical parameters only. So where rho is known as resistivity. Resistivity. So where rho is known as resistivity. Okay, now, and it is indicated by rho. So you'll see the units for this resistivity also. So it is denoted by a symbol rho, and the units for this resistance, how to obtain the units means first we need to write the expression for the resistivity rho. Observe here, all of you, rho, that is equals to, I can write from the R expression, so rho equals to RA by L. Yes or no? RA by L. Now we can find out the units. So what is the unit for the resistance? Ohm, right? And what is the unit for the cross sectional area? Meter square. And what is the unit for length? What is the unit for length? Meters, right? Then what is the final? So unit for the resistivity. Observe here, I will write here. So the unit for the resistance is ohm. Yes or no? And so what is the unit for cross sectional area? So the unit for cross sectional area is, so meter square. Yes or no? And what is the unit for the length? It is meters. So this meter square and meter gets cancelled. What is the final? So unit for the resistivity, that is ohm meter. So very very important. So the unit for the resistivity is ohm meter. Ohm meter. Ohm meter. Okay. So the unit for the resistivity is ohm, symbolic representation, ohm meter. All of you understood what are the different factors affected by the resistance and what is the meaning of resistivity and its expression and its units. And similarly, we will see two more definitions in this video itself. That is, one is I will mention here itself, no problem for me. The next one is conductance definition. We will say very easy to understand. So conductance. So it is defined like this. So conductance, it is defined as the reciprocal of resistance. We are calling as conductance, and it is denoted by a letter capital G, and it is denoted by capital letter. So G equals to, mathematically I can write, so 1 by R. So mathematically, conductance is nothing but the reciprocal of resistance. So that is 1 by capital R. So now can you guess the units for this conductance? Yes or no? So what will be the units? Definitely. So what is the unit for the resistance? Ohm, right? So the reciprocal of resistance units is what? 1 by ohm. That is ohm inverse, or it is also known as Siemens. Okay now. So when it comes to the conductance, the units are either ohm inverse, okay na? So ohm inverse or or Siemens or Siemens. These are the units for the conductance. And similarly, we will see one more definition also. That is conductivity. Okay, now so because we already seen the definition for resistivity, then conductance, now conductivity. Okay, now so it is very easy to define also. The conductivity can be defined as the reciprocal of resistivity. We are known as what? Conductivity. And can you guess the unit? Can you guess the unit? So very simple, right? And symbolically, it is represented by, I will show you the symbolic representation of conductivity. It is by shown by sigma. It is shown by sigma. That sigma is defined as the reciprocal of conductivity. So resistivity, right? Sigma, that is equals to 1 by resistivity, right? That is rho. What will be the unit? So because the unit for the resistivity is what? Ohm meter. Then what will be the unit for the conductivity? Ohm meter whole inverse, right? Simply I can write the unit for the conductivity simply. So this is ohm meter whole inverse. I can write. Yes or no? So a meter whole inverse, or I can write one more unit in terms of Siemens. So that is Siemens per meter. Yes or no? Or Siemens per meter. So these are the unit for the conductivity. Okay. So with this, I'm closing this video. In the next video, we will see the definition for the Ohm's law. Okay. Thanks for watching.